Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. BPD called out late last night when a man is found dead inside a home by several people, and officers say they're investigating this as a suspicious death.
I wrap up my series this week with the man behind tunes you've probably found yourself humming hundreds of times.
It's a first in the NBA Finals. The Toronto Raptors are waking up champs this morning. We'll show you just how close the Warriors came to stopping them on this Friday, June 14th, 2019. Good morning. Great to have you with us. History making there. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Tabitha Mills and Kevin Charette. Did you guys watch the game last night?
No, I went to Stars Theater. I went to their 50th anniversary show. It was very nice. I enjoyed it a lot.
The show that you highlighted, right?
Yeah, the show with my grandma. Yeah, it was a good time. All the classics, Guys and Dolls, South Pacific, Sound of Music. If you're a musical fan, you'll love it.
And this is their final weekend of this 50th anniversary performance, so go out and see them if you want to.
Exactly. Yeah, perfect weather to go indoors and enjoy a little bit of theater because it is going to be another warm weekend ahead. Not as warm as we've been seeing. We've actually been seeing these temperatures kind of go down, and that's a good thing. So, did we hit 100 yesterday? The answer to that is no. We hit 99 degrees, and that is down 9 degrees from Wednesday's 108 degrees. So it's nice to see us in the upper 90s instead of the triple digits. We're at 70 degrees right now, so about 5 to 6 degrees cooler than what we've seen in previous mornings. And you can see here a north-northwest wind at 3 miles per hour. As we take a look at the day here, starting out in the 70s, and then we will be in the mid-90s this afternoon. Light breeze by 3 o'clock out of the northwest at 6, and then we take a look at the mountains. You're currently at 63. A west-northwest wind at 12 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the day, we'll start out in the 60s, and then you can see we're going to slide into the upper 70s by this afternoon.
New this morning, Bakersfield police are investigating the suspicious death of a man in East Bakersfield. Officers found the man around 10:30 last night at a home on Bright Shadow Lane. That's just off Kern Canyon Road. They say he was suffering from an unknown condition and died at the home.
We're at the very beginning of this investigation. At this point, we don't know if it's a medical condition. It could be pretty much anything until we get into start doing a little bit more investigation.
Police have not released the man's name. They've only said that he is in his 40s.
BPD is also investigating a crash in central Bakersfield that sent a man to the hospital. It happened around 9:30 last night on Chester Avenue near 10th Street. BPD says the man wasn't in a crosswalk when he tried to cross and was hit by a car. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital with major injuries. No word on how he's doing this morning. Witnesses say the car wasn't speeding when the crash happened. Officers say the driver stopped and is cooperating with the investigation. Meanwhile, a stabbing in central Bakersfield also sent a man to the hospital. The Kern County Sheriff's Office says someone stabbed a man in the chest. Investigators say the man was found on East California Avenue, but the stabbing happened in the parking lot of the Bakersfield Lodge on Union Avenue. Paramedics took the man to the hospital with moderate to major injuries. No word on how he's doing this morning. Deputies haven't arrested anyone, but are questioning some people.
The North High School staffer accused of sexual misconduct with several students has resigned. Edwin Rodriguez faces 24 counts for alleged lewd acts with minors. The district placed him on leave last year, but he and his wife, Josie Rodriguez, resigned from their jobs last month. Edwin Rodriguez is due back in court July 16th. Rodriguez and North High School are also being sued by families who say their children were ignored when they brought concerns to administrators.
A Bakersfield woman accused of killing her daughter's newborn baby is set to appear before a judge this morning. Biancourt Dillon faces 3 felony charges, including first-degree murder. Court documents state Dillon drowned the baby just after her 15-year-old daughter gave birth in the bathroom of their Southwest Bakersfield home back in November. Documents say Dillon and her nephew, 33-year-old Bach Schinderpaul Singh Mann, buried the body in the backyard underneath the planter. Mann disappeared and hasn't been seen since November. He's wanted as an accessory. Dillon's husband, Jagsir Singh, was also charged as an accessory, but he died by suicide last month.
Today marks 1 month since McFarland City Manager John Wooner was last seen. Last night, McFarland held its first city council meeting with the man currently filling Wooner's role. 17's Karen Wall was there and sat down with David Tooley.
Bakersfield police say Wooner was last seen on May 14th at Hillcrest Cemetery in Bakersfield. Last week, McFarland officially placed him on paid administrative leave as police continue to investigate his disappearance. The mystery of John Wooner continues. The McFarland city manager has been missing for exactly 1 month.
I wish he would come back tomorrow and I could shake his hand and give him his desk back.
Without any new information on his whereabouts, the city appointed his interim replacement last week.
I've worked in 5 different cities as city manager, and I think I've sat in the lead chair for about 32 years.
David Tooley last served as the city manager of Madera. He came out of retirement to fill Wooner's shoes and says he has no plans to deviate from what Wooner did.
The city council in all respects are the decision makers in this form of government. My job is to carry out their direction, provide recommendations, and carry out in all respects the programs that they approve.
Tooley's contract here is just for 6 months. But after that, if still no Wooner, what happens then?
This is truly an interim position. I will not be a candidate for the position. I'm going to help out the council to the very best of my ability. Then I'm going to return to my grandchildren.
While McFarland's found a temporary solution, still no leads on Wooner's whereabouts. The next McFarland City Council meeting will be in 2 weeks. If you have any information about John Wooner's disappearance, you're urged to call BPD at 327-7111. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.
It's 5:07. The Kern County Sheriff's Office is trying to catch a thief. The department wants to question this man in connection with multiple thefts in the Maricopa area. Problem is, they don't know who he is. If you have information that may help detectives identify this man, call KCSO at 861-3110 or Secret Witness at 322-4040.
Houchin Blood Bank's calling on gamers to step away from the TV or computer screen long enough to donate blood. Today's World Blood Donor Day, and Houchin's reaching out to younger potential donors in an effort to boost its supplies. The blood bank has partnered with Team Liquid, a professional esports organization. Anyone who donates at either Houchin Blood Bank today will get a limited edition Team Liquid Turns Red t-shirt. We'll hear more about the event coming up in just a little bit at 5:50. Stephanie Gibbons from Houchin will join us with more details.
Well, in sports this morning, the Toronto Raptors are waking up as NBA champs. The team is celebrating its first NBA title. The Raptors wrapped up the series last night in Oakland. It was Golden State's last game ever at Oracle Arena. And it was a close one. The victory wasn't secure until Warriors star Stephen Curry misfired on a three-point jumper. After that, the Raptors ran out the clock, winning the game 114-110. Players celebrated on the court, as you can see there, while fans in Canada celebrated in the streets. And coming up at 5:55, we'll have reaction from Curry about the tough loss.
You know their work, but if they passed you on the street, you might not recognize them. This morning, Tabitha's wrapping up her series honoring some of the people whose work has shaped our community for the past 40 years.
That's right. This morning, we honor a buckaroo known for his skills on the keyboard, playing with Buck Owens. But he's also the man behind those jingles we just haven't been able to get out of our heads for roughly 40 years.
Here on the streets of Bakersfield.
You may know Jim Shaw. He's a buckaroo, a talented keyboardist, and
if our bark don't get 'em, our bite sure does. Hello, Banks. Bye-bye, Bugs.
the creator of those catchy jingles we just haven't been able to get out of our heads for about the past 40 years.
I've done an awful lot of them.
To be exact,
somewhere between 250 and 300 jingles.
He's the Jingle Master, Jingle Jim Shaw.
Things like Brock's is the place, and Translex Stereo, and companies that don't even exist anymore. But some of them that have been around for many years are We Treat Your Feet.
The only thing we do is stock Delta Dietary Fruit. We treat your feet.
In by 11, Ready at 4, Today Cleaners.
In by 11, Ready at 4, we're everywhere. Today Cleaners.
The Emporium, look for the big red boot.
Look for the big red boot.
The Emporium.
I got into the jingle business back in probably 72 or 73. I was a record producer for Susan Ray, country singer that traveled with us in the Buck Owens show. And she was hired to do a Bill Wright Toyota jingle. And I thought, hey, I think I could do this. I want to try that. So I think my first jingle was Ray's Manufactured Homes and then Hodell's. I'm a songwriter, and I'd had songs recorded by Garth Brooks and Tom Jones, but it's very difficult. It's a long, miserable road, and for every success, there's 100 that never get recorded. And jingles are just so fun because instant gratification. You get the thing done, and next thing you know, you hear it on the radio or see it on TV.
Kern Family Health Care. A friendly face.
The funny thing is very often when somebody talks about one of my jingles, it's how irritating it is that it's stuck in their head. And I generally just smile and say, good, that was the idea, to get it stuck in your head. It's all about what we call hook.
Look for the big red boot.
The Emporium.
He's the Jingle Master.
Who wants to try writing jingles now? Because it sounds like so much fun.
It does, and he makes it look seamless.
He does.
Very talented, and I guarantee you're going to be singing some of those in your head
for
the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Some that we forgot about. I love the Banks one. That's a good one.
Hello, Banks.
Bye-bye, bugs.
I like the big red boot.
Kevin likes the big red boot.
Classic.
Yeah.
So classic. All right. It's 5:24 now. A high-end home retailer claims a shift in strategy helped the company boost revenue during the U.S.-China trade war. RH, formerly known as Restoration Hardware, beat expectations by raking in nearly $600 million in revenue last quarter. An earnings report shows the company selectively raised prices and renegotiated product costs in an effort to offset increased tariffs on imported Chinese goods. The Trump administration raised tariffs from 10% to 25% back in May. RH also plans to shift some manufacturing out of China and will consider expanding production in the U.S. It's one of our signature issues here at KGET. We call it Kern's sober reality. When a person chooses to drink and drive, they're taking a huge risk with their life and the lives of others. But another thing drinking and driving can affect is finances. It's something most people don't think about. So money expert Stacey Johnson explains.
Most people that get DUIs are regular people. They're at happy hour or having a drink coming home from work. They're just normal people, not real criminals.
Lawyer Ted Hollander handles DUI cases for the Ticket Clinic.
It's pretty traumatic for a regular person to get arrested, be taken to jail, have to post a bond, and now be in the middle of the criminal justice system. It's pretty devastating for people.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, nearly every hour someone dies in a car crash involving alcohol, and the annual cost of alcohol-related crashes is more than $44 billion. If you get a DUI, paying the ticket is just the very beginning of your financial obligations.
If you factor everything in insurance increases, loss of work, court costs, fines, attorney fees, on and on and on, maybe $15,000.
Many states require DUI offenders to use ignition interlock devices, which are like breathalyzers in your car. You have to pay to install and maintain them. And remember, a DUI will stay on your criminal record. It's going to show up in background checks. You won't be able to escape the drunk driving label. Bottom line, don't pay thousands or risk anyone's life by driving impaired. Uber's a bargain by comparison. You want to learn more? Go to MoneyTalksNews.com and do a search for DUI. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson. Money Talks is brought to you by your local consumer credit counseling service. If you've got debt problems or just want some free budget counseling, call today.